What did a friend of yours do that turned you on without them knowing it? I was on voice chat with a gaming friend I'd never had any particular attraction to. It was getting late, and I commented that I needed to go to bed soon. She told me to, but I laughed it off and said I probably wouldn't for at least another hour. In a slow, southern drawl, she replied, "I'm not asking you, baby doll. I'm telling you, I've never gotten aroused faster in my life." I had to mute the call for a minute and assess what the just happened. I remember back in high school I had this crush on my friend and he came over for some reason or another. As soon as he entered my room he kind of just flopped himself back to lay down on my bed and stretched out lazily. I went bright red and couldn't focus on anything. It's been a long time since I've felt that way about anyone. My friend and I work at a lab at our college. I never really thought anything of her until she one day shows up wearing a super tight shirt that showed off her boobs very, very well. It was very hard to keep eye contact with her that day. I then told my boyfriend that I now understand how boobs can be distracting. I was sitting and focused on my work in front of me, and she came up behind me and ran her hand across the top of my head. And I wouldn't say it turned me on, but it was an instant sensation over my entire scalp and down my spine, and my neck stopped supporting my head for a moment. Once a friend saved my tipsy ass from being flattened by an oncoming vehicle. He wrapped one arm around my waist and pulled me backwards into him. I don't know if it was the unexpected physical contact or the alcohol or what, but I could not stop thinking about my weird new inappropriate crush for weeks after. Went to visit a group of friends after I had moved to another town 3 hours away. One guy friend IMF got this giddy look, ran, jumped over a railing in some crazy smooth pro athlete style, and enveloped me in this huge bear hug. Was not expecting that and felt things for him I had never before. One of my coworkers started talking to me about a scientific field he was really passionate about, and that was when I started looking at him differently for a bit. So it was the day after this huge natural disaster happened. Major news story in the US in August 2017, and the government agency I work for was like, all hands on deck. So every civil engineer was assigned to relief and recovery efforts, including me. The guy who sat next to me at work was your typical nerdy engineer, but dressed nicer. Then as I was waiting outside to be sent to the field, I saw him getting out of a truck wearing dirty jeans, steel-toe boots, and carrying his hard hat, looking all sweaty and dirty and delicious. He's my boyfriend now. Was friends with a high school crush. We had a class together and would occasionally have chill days. I was sitting in front of her and turned my desk 90 degrees so I could comfortably talk to her. She then picked her legs up and put them across mine. Was grabbing my arm to show me something. Then ran her hand up and down it in surprise because I was getting a little buff and she felt the new muscles. Looks like you might have unexpectedly turned her on too. My friend laid next to me on her belly while we were watching TV. Just seeing her butt with her legs fully extended, it was hard to focus on the TV. She got startled and jumped onto me. Not like full on, she was in my arms, but we were standing next to each other. Something went bang, and she just turned and grabbed me. Instant boner. She was meant to go out but ended up sitting with me chatting. She was all dressed up, and because of the way she was sitting her dress kept sliding up her thigh. She fixed it twice but stopped trying. Her thigh wasn't totally exposed but a bit more was showing off. That's how I realized I have a thing for legs. I once dated a dude who was into legs, and let me tell you, that was the best. I love that when I would wear shorts and just walk around it felt like I was teasing him, and it was so easy to turn him on for sex. Just wearing extra short pajama shorts did it for him 90% of the time. It was awesome. That would do it for like 90% of us dudes. A good friend and I were once drunk and tired, so we came up with the idea of taking turns slapping each other in the face. So that was a weird boner. I was wearing a jacket that was unzipped. She put her arms inside my jacket to hug me goodbye. Felt weird for some reason, even though it was outside the shirt I was wearing. We were studying and she said, "F this. Let's do some jujitsu," and jumped on me. I did my best to prevent that erection. She either has a warrior's spirit or is into you. My dude. pour one out for another missed signal. I had a friend in college that I was pretty close with. We had a lot of overlap in our classes. We were from the same city, so occasionally drove back home together. Our college was approximately 4 hours away, etc. We got along very well, but most of our interaction was class, homework related rather than social stuff. So I never really thought about her in a romantic context. She was one of those stay in and study on Friday, Saturday nights underclassmen, and I was going out and getting loaded every weekend. One day in the computer lab, she came up behind me and put her hands on my shoulders and asked me a perfectly normal question about what I was working on. There was just something about the physical touch. The fact that I was distracted. Her scent. The fact that we were close friends. I jumped like someone had hit me with a cattle prod. It dawned on me that this is someone I should be trying to date instead of going out and getting wasted at yet another kegger. Unfortunately, she was dating someone at the time. I was nowhere near forward enough to try and break someone up, and I didn't want to risk our friendship. So nothing ever happened. She was in one relationship or another for the rest of college, and ended up marrying the guy she dated our senior year. One of my friends once said, as she looked at herself in the mirror, "Damn, I'd myself." Really turned me on for some reason. She bit me in the face, softly. Biting is like kissing but with a winner. I was wrestling with a girl, not fake wrestling. Both of us were actually trying to win, and we were in a ring who I wasn't really interested in. When she had me in a hold that I wasn't able to get out of, I got a small chub. I had reach. She had flexibility. Later, we held a tiebreaker in her quarters. I had reach. She had flexibility. No matter the person, anyone whispering in my ear turns me on. It doesn't even matter what they say. It's free real estate. Thanks. Now my keyboard is covered in water. You come water. My manager and I were talking about something and he called over another coworker, and she ran up and did a little hop into a superhero pose. I was speechless for a couple of seconds because that was the cutest thing I've ever seen somebody do. FaceTimed me while she was wearing cute pajamas. Now cute pajamas is on my ever-growing list of things that I am ashamed turns me on. It's a little embarrassing, but I had a work friend who laughed as she grabbed my arm after I told her a joke. The physical touch combined with emotion. The restaurant I used to work at had a vacuum we could use that was shaped as a big red box that you could strap to your back like a backpack. It definitely looked straight out of Ghostbusters. My very cute coworker was using it, and when I jokingly asked if she was having fun, she responded with, "Who ya gonna call?" This was almost 10 years ago. I had a crush on a friend for a couple of weeks when I got a feeling that it was fading. Good. Because feelings are complicated. But then he trimmed his beard. Ah shit. Here we go again. Long, affectionate hugs. An attractive female friend of mine gave me a hug that lasted around 30 seconds, and she was squeezing me the entire time. Halfway into the hug, I popped an unexpected boner that I'm pretty sure poked her thigh. I don't think she noticed. And if she did, she never said anything about it. I'm a long hugger female as well. This happens often with men. You guys just aren't touched enough, I think. There's some magic in a long hug. If she's generally a long hug giver, it's happened to her before and probably understands that it's not overtly sexual, just a response to the closeness. 15 years ago, my friend at uni invited some of us over to watch him play Resident Evil 4 that had just been released on the GameCube, and later watch a film. Knocked on his door. He answered and I got the strangest lady boner. He had picked up his new glasses and had a haircut when he picked up the game in town. Something about his new look stirred something inside me. Started dating 4 years later and we're getting married next year. I have an attractive female friend who I was visiting. We were sitting in her kitchen and she got up to get a Coke from her refrigerator. She was wearing short shorts, and as she bent over to get the soda, she asked me if I wanted anything. It took me a few seconds, but I managed to say no. I lied. As a joke of my best friend attempting to act crazy, she put her hand around my neck and tried to choke me, and I just started smiling. Ah, the sweet embrace of death. A college housemate was on the couch next to me as we watched TV one night. She mentioned a concert that was coming up and asked if I was down to go. I wasn't too keen, so I turned and have her a blank stare. She held my gaze and moved her eyebrows up and down twice quickly. The effect was devastating. I don't know if it counts as turned on or a moment of deep infatuation, but I still think about those goddamn eyebrows. Is this her? He was giving a talk in front of a bunch of people and he was so confident and intelligent and everyone was just so engaged with what he was saying. I legitimately wanted to just suck his dick right there. Watching him own that room was so hot. By your description, I too want to suck his dick. She turned pages and pulled stops for my college junior year organ recital. As she moved from one side of the organ console to the other, she kept brushing me with her breasts. This girl was pulling out all the stops.